Okay, this is just a quick video to show you how to set up a Git repository on your Eclipse project. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to create a brand new project in Eclipse, just going with a new Java project, and I'm going to give it a name, Git sample, and finish. So now I have my project in here, and I need to be able to find the folder where that project is. So I'm just going to right-click on it, go to Properties, and Eclipse has this line that will tell me the location of the project. And it has this little button here that will show me, that will take me straight to that folder. So I'm just clicking on that, and I can see that it's taking me to the workspace folder, and I can see where the Git sample project is. So I'm just going to copy this address. Now, it is important to notice that this address does not contain the name of this folder. The address that I'm copying is the folder that contains the project itself. So now I'm going to go to GitHub Desktop, which is the program that I use. You can use command line, and the principle is the same. So go File, New Repository, and define my local path would be the one that I just copied. And the name of the repository should be exactly the same as the name of the project, Git sample. Now, this is case sensitive, so if your casing is not exactly the same, the Git repository won't pick it up. Now, I create the repository, and if everything went well, you should be able to see in your History tab that the code for that particular program is in here. Now, this is an empty repository, so you should be able to see what you have in there. Now, let's go back to the code for a second and see what happens if I create a new class. Suppose I create a main class there that I call public static void main, and I put a system.out.println in there just for testing. I'm gonna say hello world. If I run that, when you're running a Java project, you're saving the file at the same time. So once you save things, those changes should be reflected in your code. Actually, if you take a look, you can see that there is a new file in there. Now, anytime you do changes that are worth committing, then you create and you do a commit. So for example, in this case, I'm going to do a commit. For each commit, you have to do a required summary and an optional description. So in my case, I'm going to say, for example, adding main class, and I'm going to put in the description testing with a hello world, just for the record, and I will commit. So once you do your commit, your changes are back to 0, but then your history has a new add-on in here which says, okay, in this commit, these are the new things that happen. The next thing would be to make this repository public, and GitHub Desktop is integrated away with GitHub. So I'm just going to click on this button that is Publish Repository, and it will ask me if I want to keep this code private or public. So depending on your case, you have to decide whether you want to make it public or private. So I'm going to publish the repository. And once you do so, you should be able to go to your GitHub account page and refresh, and your Git repository should come up in there. And actually, if you open that, you should be able to see your code and your full history. Now, keep in mind that this update and this backup doesn't happen automatically. So the commit, you have to do the commit every time you consider it's necessary, and you have to push the changes to the online platform every time you consider necessary. So my advice would be, do all your changes that you need to get something working, and once you get something working, do your summary of what you got working, and then you do the commit. And then the push would be, well, if you're working in teams, you should be doing a push every time you commit. But if you're working individually, then you might do a push every couple of commits. For example, at the end of the day, just to make sure you have a backup online. Well, that was it. Thank you very much.